Hello, hello. The doc is in, and we are back with another episode of Demon Slayer, episode 10. I don't know the name, but that's not important. If you thought last week's episode was great, peak fiction by chance, well, but let's not say peak fiction. That's a heavy title. Let's say peak animation, great moments, amazing cliffhanger. This episode better than last week's episode. I'm telling you that now. This is just a fact. And let's just hop into it because once again, the double index card two-sided on both because you know what? This episode just had so much going on. So, recap in the beginning, opening, start of the episode. Alright, so we have a little Tanjiro Nezuko mindscape melding moment, and basically Nezuko's being like, why you always apologizing all the time? She's like, why you always gotta make something bad that happens someone's fault and then gotta apologize for it? And she like brings up like, oh, dad died because he was sick, so was it his fault that he died because he was sick? And basically she's like, things happen, but we gotta keep pushing through, whatever. It doesn't need to be someone's fault. No one needs to apologize or nothing like that. And she's basically like, we gotta stand up and fight together because what happened in the last episode. She's like, you got this, we do this, gotta work together, whatnot. Then Tanjiro wakes up and he's like, damn, I'm alive and Nezuko's safe, let's go. And he moves his head up and Gyutaro's just looking at him like, damn, you are alive, crazy. And so basically Gyutaro then goes from there and he's just like, you must be the lucky one because everybody else, they packed up. Your boy, the Hashira, dead. Poison killed him, his heart is stopped, he's out. You got your boy Zenny over there getting crushed like a bug. He's squirming and stuff. Whatever. Stabbed your boy Inosuke through the chest, right in the heart. He's done for. And now it's just you. And he's basically like he basically is just calling Tanjiro a loser. In a lot of different ways. He uses a lot of different verbiage. I'm sure living for hundreds of years has really expanded his vocabulary. So he really goes in on him. He's basically like, you're a loser, you suck. And going throughout the conversation, he's basically like, oh, is that your sibling over there? I see she's a demon or whatever. Is she your younger sister or your older sister? And Tanjiro decides to answer the question. He's like, that's my younger sister, man. And then Gyutaro really goes off. He's like, dang, you suck. Imagine your younger sister being stronger than you had to protect you. And L. And he's basically making fun of him. He's like, oh, you're supposed to be an older brother and you're not protecting her. But he's like, oh, it can't be your fault because you're a human. She's a demon. What can you do? And it's just sad. It's just Gyutaro literally just making fun of him. And Tanjiro can't do nothing. There's nothing he can do. He just sit there, just being made fun of, being desperate and sad. And going throughout the conversation, throughout this conversation, Gyutaro's, he's being like sort of friendly, you would think. I mean, obviously, like I said, he's bullying him in essence, and talking about how he basically killed all his ops, which are Tanjiro's friends. And Tanjiro's thinking to himself at one point, he's like, dang, why hasn't Gyutaro killed me yet? It's because he wants to bully him. It's about him. He just wants to bully him. And so basically, midway through the conversation, Gyutaro's like touching him and stuff. I mean, obviously, there's not really much Tanjiro can do to like stop him. Like, you gotta smack his hand, then Gyutaro's gonna slap your head off your body. So I mean, what are you gonna do? So at one point, he touches Tanjiro's hand. He's like, oh, you should use his hand to protect your sister, and breaks his finger. You get the crunch and everything. I was like, oh no, that is pain right there. That is sad. And then basically, Gyutaro then proceeds to like taunt Tanjiro. He's like, oh, cut off my head, do it. And Tanjiro's like, he sucks himself up, and he's like, you know what, I'm leaving. He picks up Nezuko, he starts running. He's like, I'm out of here, we'll live to fight another day. And then Daki and Gyutaro basically laugh at him, and he's like, must suck to suck. And he blitzes him and kicks him through a building. Mind you, the whole landscape's on fire because they basically destroyed the whole town in the last episode. And so Tanjiro gets kicked through a couple of burning buildings, and then he like runs off onto the side. He basically is getting followed by Gyutaro, and we get this crazy scene where we see just Gyutaro walking with the burning buildings behind him as he's coming closer to Tanjiro. It's just like, whoa, it's very Terminator-esque, and it was fire. And I'm just like, how is he supposed to get out of this? He's gonna die. I mean, I know the series is supposed to continue at another episode. I mean, maybe we switch over to Muzan, and now that's Muzan's story. Instead of Demon Slayer, it's Demon Slayer. Because, yeah. But what happens is that as Gyutaro's like approaching, Tanjiro's throwing rubble at him and whatnot. And obviously it's not really having any effect, because I mean, on one hand fingers are broken, the other hand was already injured. I mean, and you're throwing random rubble at him, so I mean, what are you really expecting here? And once Gyutaro closes the distance, then he's like, you know what, you got a little sister, I can relate to that. I'm gonna offer you a deal that you cannot refuse. And he's basically like, become a demon so you can protect your sister, or you can choose not to do that and I will totally murder your sister. I mean, you obviously included, but your sister gotta go too, because he's basically like, I don't care about other people's little sisters, but if you want to take care of her, sure. You know, once you become a demon, we could be buddies, you know, we could be the Oni-chan. Honestly, I'm gonna stop saying that. It's kind of cringy. Actually, no, I'm not gonna stop saying it. Anytime it comes up, I'm gonna use it. But, you know, older brother, little sister dynamic in demon form. And so, basically, Tanjiro, before answering, because obviously he's gonna say no, but before answering, he's basically like, well, actually no, he's gonna answer, and then as he's about to answer, he's like, I hear you, but headbutt. And the holy headbutt comes in out of nowhere, slap right in the forehead. And Gyutaro's like, I ain't doing nothing. And he starts losing his balance. I'm like, hey yo, is the headbutt really that strong that even upper rank demons simply cannot handle? And then we see Tanjiro, the sneaky boy he is, over here shanked my man Gyutaro right in the thigh with a kunai, with the Wisteria kunai. And he's like, oh shoot, that's why I'm getting weak. It's really because of the headbutt, but you know, the kunai helps too. And so basically, Tanjiro had this all planned out, and the reason why he started running is because, based on Gyutaro's analysis, he probably saw the kunai from a distance, started running in that direction, and then when he was throwing the rubble, he used like he threw like a pouch of stuff, and basically it was some smelly goods or whatever, and so that was supposed to max the smell of the Wisteria so that then he can get the head off. So now that he got the head off and he's weakened, Tanjiro's going for the head cut, and it's about to go down. I'm just like, whoa, Tanjiro's a big brained boy, alright? We thought he was holy, we knew he was holy, and we knew he was like a really nice boy, and he has a really hard head for some ungodly reason. And apparently in that very strong dome, there's also a big brain. So he goes for the slice, and Daki is just in the background doing absolutely nothing. Now, in real world, Daki should have, as soon as she saw her brother start falling over, stabbed Tanjiro through the neck and killed him instantly. But you know what? She's useless. And so she waits until Tanjiro's going for the cut. He's literally got his blade on Gyutaro's neck. I mean, given in her perspective, he's probably not gonna die, but still, she's just hanging. I'm like, what's the deal? Anyway, she goes for, so now that Tanjiro got the cut on, well, is trying to cut Gyutaro's neck, she goes for the little stabby stabs with her belt blades, and Zenitsu finally gets out from under the rubble, comes in, slices the stuff. We got another mid-air Zenitsu, because every time. And so he's back, and he's like, I'm gonna run interference for Tanjiro. He's gonna get this cut off on her neck, on his neck, and I'm gonna get her. And so he's getting sliced at, and he's like, you know what, I'm going for the blitz. First form, thunderclap and flash, godlike speed, and he rushes her. He just gets in there and he's slicing. It was hot. It was hot. Very hot. And he's rushing her down, and he's got her neck stuck on his blade. He's just gonna basically speed his way through her neck. And I'm just like, wow. Wow. And so Tanjiro's trying to cut through Gyotaro's neck, and Gyotaro's trying to pull the wisteria out of his leg so that he can get his full strength back. And it just go back and forth with the yelling and stuff. And in the end, Tanjiro simply just doesn't have enough strength, considering that his fingers are broken, to get the slice off. And Gyotaro gets the kunai out of his leg first, uses his rotating blood sickles to, this is a blood demon arm by the way, to push Tanjiro's blade off, and then he rushes Tanjiro because he's like, you bitch, you think you could kill me like that? I'll show you. And he's rushing him down. Tanjiro's blocking, he's doing his best, but simply and utterly he's being outmatched as Gyotaro's getting more of his strength back. Tanjiro's just falling further and further on the back foot. But then another surprise appearance, the GOAT is back. Alright, the only Demon Slayer I respect over demons, because demons over Demon Slayers all day, every day. But there's only one Demon Slayer above the rest, and it's not Rengoku. Get that boy out of here. He got packed up for a reason. We got Tengen. He's back, one-handed. He's back. And so, basically what happened is that he didn't die from the poison. What really happened was that he stopped his own heart, because he's a ninja. And basically that stopped the poison from circulating. I'm assuming that means that he's no longer really poisoned, because he gets up to some real buffoonery coming up. And it's just like, hold on, if you were dying a second ago and now you're back with one arm, well, one hand, he has his arm, but one hand, and you're getting up to this nonsense, there's no way you're still poisoned. There's no way, because otherwise that'd make him top of the verse. Imagine being poisoned, losing your hand, being super injured, and then being like, you know what, let's run it back for round 2 and be stronger. It just doesn't make sense. So clearly the poison had to have gone away. And so Gyotaro versus Tengen round 2 begins. Tengen is on the offensive immediately. He's rushing down Gyotaro. And Gyotaro, I mean, they're really going back and forth. I'm like, this does not make sense. One-handed, previously poisoned, pretty injured Tengen is going 1v1 with Gyotaro, who in essence is at 100%, maybe 90% if you say he's still a little weakened from the wisteria or whatever. But it is going crazy. Explosions, blood, slashes everywhere. It is magnificent. The animation is a slapper beyond belief. But that's not all. The episode continues. And so basically, Tanjiro's running along as Tengen and Tanjiro's running along as Tengen and Gyotaro are going back and forth, and basically Tanjiro's like, alright, while this is amazing that Tengen's able to do all this nonsense, this absolute buffoonery, this absolute G shit, there's no way he's going to be able to keep this up. Obviously, he's super injured. Even if he had like a huge second wind, which this is what this is, a huge second wind, he still is probably going to fall out before Gyotaro falls out. So I'm going to be running around the side, I'm going to be waiting for my opening, I'm going to come in there, I'm going to cut that boy's head off today. And so the fight goes back and forth, and Gyotaro finally gets the upper hand. Tengen's blades, the chain on Tengen's blades break. Gyotaro goes for a stab in the stomach. Tengen retaliates with a cut off one arm, one sickle gone. The arm isn't coming back, which we can assume suggests that the wisteria is still in effect, but it also could just be that this fight's been going on for a long time, so he's running out of blood usage. Because I mean, I'm pretty sure in previous encounters with demons, we've seen that after, even if you're a high-ranking demon, obviously they have way stronger regenerating powers, but I'm pretty sure like eventually there's like a limit to how much regenerating you can do at once. So maybe Gyotaro's reaching his limit, maybe they're just moving really fast so Gyotaro then gets a chance to regenerate, who knows. But point is, his arm is gone. After Tengen cuts off his arm, Gyotaro retaliates by slicing his eye, and I was so sad. I was like, no, not the eye. No. But even then, Tanjiro's like, oh snap, his eye. But Tengen's like, we gotta keep pushing. when you get knocked down, don't just get up. Keep running. Don't even fall. Just keep running. And he charges Gyutaro. He stabs him right through the chest. And he just pushes him. It's like they're flying. And I'm just like, peak animation. And Tanjiro comes in from above. Basically, Tengen's like, as he's charging Gyutaro with his blade in his stomach, he's like, jump. And Tanjiro's like, I heard you. He comes up from above. He's about to get the slice off. And he swings, bang, right in the neck. But he's not coming through just yet. And so Tanjiro's like, nah, I'm not messing up this time. Alright, I'm putting my everything in it. And so by saying he's putting his everything in it, he starts bringing back up the sun breathing. And so he's really pushing through. And the mark on his forehead, that little scar thing where he was like, oh, I didn't have a sun mark on there. Well, that shit just came in, alright? It came in the mail today. And it's like a little sizzle, got a little sizzle effect on it, so you know it's the sun. And so basically, he swings, he's cutting through, but Gyutaro's like, I ain't gonna lose anyway, because Daki's gonna keep her neck, and then I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna whip these guys' asses, and I'm gonna whip that guy's ass, and then we're gonna be done. Or so he thought. And so we cut from that fight, as his neck's getting sliced through, to Zenitsu, and he's still swinging, alright, same pose and everything, he's swinging through, but it's just not enough. He's like, I'm running out of steam here, I don't think I got enough in it. And so Daki's like, ain't cut off my head anyway, so you know what, I'm gonna stab you behind. And so then another person comes back from the very grave. Inosuke, the goat, comes back in, he slices the belt blades that are about to attack Zenitsu, and she's like, what the fuck, you were dead. And he's like, my death was exaggerated. And he hits her with first off, he's like, I moved my heart because I'm just that flexible. I'm like, wait. You moved your heart away from where it's supposed to be? Which is just nonsensical. But you know what, anime logic, he moved his heart because he's just that flexible. Actually, there might be something to that. But point is, he moved his heart. So he didn't get stabbed through the heart, he just got stabbed through the chest. So I presume he probably got knocked out in the same sense that Tengen got knocked out. And so like they were like pseudo recovering in their like downtime. And he's also like, there's poisons on the mountains. I've been living out in the streets, alright. We be eating the wild berries, and when you know how in like safety things they're like, oh, don't eat wild berries, it could be poisonous. He's been eating those wild berries, and so he's like, poison resistance. After disclosing the fact that he has poison resistance, he then goes in with Zenitsu and they get the cut off. And then it happens. We cut to all their faces, they're all screaming real loud, and they cut off Daki and Gyutaro's heads. And the fight is won. We see their heads fly off, they roll out, they're looking at each other, they got like the little yin-yang thing, they're facing each other's eyes. They don't say anything loud, but they're just like looking at each other's eyes or whatever. And we cut to Tengen's wives. They're all excited, like, woo, we won, let's go. And Makio's like, something ain't right. The fight ain't over yet. And then we cut to Tanjiro, and like he was dying before, earlier in the fight, where he was using too much of his sun breathing, and then he started choking out. This time he's choking out and poisoned. I forgot to mention, when Tanjiro was coming in to get his cutoff on Gyutaro's head, he got stabbed through the lower jaw, but luckily it didn't like hit his brain or anything, so he's okay. But he's now poisoned, so he's like dying. He's like thinking, he's like, I need to breathe, and he's looking at Tengen, and Tengen's like basically screaming at him. And so in my brain I'm like, oh, what is it, because of the poison or whatever? And we cut to see what Tengen's saying, and he's like, you gotta run. And then we cut to Gyutaro's body, and it just starts, all the rotating blood blades start like coming out of him in like a storm, and a giant explosion happens. I think of it as a giant rotating blade tornado, because while Gyutaro's getting his head cut off and it's about to come off, he's thinking about how he needs to use his blades to like get out of here, get out of the situation. So I'm guessing like kind of like a post-mortem then, if you know, watch Hunter x Hunter, well, read, pay attention to Hunter x Hunter stuff, post-mortem then, blah 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 blah, more powerful when you're dead, etc. So in his like last thoughts before his head was cut off, because he really wanted to do that attack, it came out and super powerful. And then End of episode. And I was tight. I was tight. But that episode, it was great, amazing, 10 out of 10. Animation, a banger. Moments in the episode, a banger. It truly was chef's kiss. Now, where is this episode? Where are we gonna go from here? I don't really know. If you ask me, real life, everybody died. They got the W, but they're dead. Well, actually, maybe not Zenitsu and Inosuke, because they were in midair and they were like going kind of far away. So maybe they might be alive, but Tengen and Tanjiro, they were at like the epicenter. They should be dead. But I mean, we'll see what happens. I assume the wives got away, so maybe they might be part of like making sure everybody doesn't like die right away. I mean, obviously Gyutaro and Daki, the bodies didn't start decaying yet, but they're definitely defeated. So yeah. I also hear that the last episode of the season is going to be an hour. Now, I'm not sure if it's 2 more episodes left or we got 1 more episode left. But either way, that hour-long episode, I'm a little hyped. I heard we're going to get some new characters in it. And they ain't all going to be human players. They ain't going to be all human. That's all I'm going to say. Much either way, thank you for watching the episode. Thank you for watching the video. If you like, leave a like. If you dislike, leave a dislike. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one. The doc is out.